How's it going, Nick?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. Obviously, USC lost a lot of tight ends last year. It's basically a bare room coming in. I think 6 to 8 of you are new faces. Just what's the competition like in this early going, and how do you expect it to play out over spring ball when all of you guys are trying to get some reps?
I mean, yeah, we've got 3 transfer guys who all have a lot of experience. I mean, Trey, Josh, myself included. They definitely have more experience than I do, just they're older. But I'm really excited to play with them, play against them, and compete. The freshmen have shown a lot of promise, so I'm excited for the room and going through spring ball to see how it shakes out. But, I mean, we're going to have a heck of a tight end room this year.
Hey, Nick. Coming from an SEC program, just what has the transition been like coming into, a rival building, and, what made you choose South Carolina?
Yeah, it was definitely different. Talking with like some of my buddies from back at Florida, like that I'm gonna be playing them the next 2 years, so that'll be interesting. Trying to keep everything like serious, but I don't know. It's been really nice. I've really liked the coaching staff here. That was one of the biggest reasons. And honestly, one of the biggest reasons I chose to come here is because I got to play Florida. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Coach Beamer recruited you out of high school, right, when he was at Oklahoma? Just for someone that doesn't know a whole lot about Beamer from a recruiting side, what's he been like through the recruitment process then versus now, and how has that transition gone with him, Coach Wright, and potentially Coach Limbo?
Yeah, I got recruited by him at Oklahoma, like you said, and he's been the same thing when he was at Oklahoma. Now to being the head coach here at South Carolina, he's been straightforward with me. He's been completely honest. I mean, one of the biggest things for me was when we saw him for the first time during my recruiting process in the transfer portal, is when we met. It was my dad, myself, Coach Beamer, and Coach Wright, and he went up and shook my dad's hand and said, "Hey, Daryl, how are you doing?" And that meant a lot to me because I came from a place where they didn't even know where I was from, and it had been a year. So, for him, even if he had to go and check up on my report, that meant a lot to me. So it just shows the kind of guy that he is.
I'm sure you had a pretty rigorous strength program at Florida, but how would you describe what you're going through here at South Carolina the last couple months?
Well, I can tell you after the first week, I didn't think that the program where I was before was as rigorous, because this program is nothing to joke about. There have been a couple times where we've come back in the locker room and nobody's saying anything. We're all just kind of sitting in our lockers like, whew, that was tough. But I don't know. I love it. It's you're competing against people in the weight room, whether you notice it or not. And then with our different full team nights that we do where we're all competing against each other, it creates a great atmosphere, and you don't even really notice it, which is awesome.
Hey, Nick, one thing that really stood out to me when you made your commitment to South Carolina is just how badly you want to be on the special teams unit and how much you want to block and just being that physical presence. Where does that come from, number one, and what has that relationship been like with Pete Limbo, knowing that South Carolina had a very, very successful year last year on special teams?
Yeah, I don't know. That's always been something I've kind of prided myself on as a tight end is, I was at Florida and I came in after Kyle Pitts. I know that I'm not Kyle Pitts. I'm not a wide receiver in a tight end's body, but I knew what I was good at, and that kind of plays into special teams, and knowing who Pete Limbo is and talking with, all the players here and then people that I know who have played under him before, I'm excited to play with him because I know at my position, you're going to have to play special teams at the next level, and if I want to get there, I don't think there's anybody better to play for.
You mentioned knowing what you're good at just now. Kind of what is that in your mind, and what are you still trying to look to accomplish going into spring ball in terms of improving?
Yeah, I think what will separate me is just blocking. that was definitely something that we did a lot of at Florida last year, and I'm looking to bring that over. I know I can always improve on anything, so I'm looking forward to doing that during spring ball. But I'd say probably my strong suit right now would be blocking.
I'm obviously Coach Loggins is probably still figuring things out with new personnel and things like that. But what can you share about sort of the plans for the offense and the tight end position as well to this point?
I mean, we're going through installs right now. We'll get into a meeting and we might not even know what the signals are going out onto the field. So, I mean, it's still very early on in the process, but it's, from what I've seen so far, it features the tight end a lot, so I can't really complain. I'm excited for it. All right, I think that's it. All right, thank you guys.